Hello there, my very good friends. On today's wrestling news, we're going to talk about Ronda Rousey's AMA disaster.
Ronda Rousey on why she never faced Becky Lynch one-on-one.
Talk about the Wyatt 6 maybe getting a little bit spooky.
And Mercedes Moné, formerly known as Sasha Banks, of course, almost returned to WWE. I'm Adam Wilborn.
And I'm Andy Murray.
And this is the news.
Okay, we got to talk about this Ronda Rousey AMA because
who thought this was a good idea?
Exactly. Like, what member of her PR team thought that this was going to go well? It's Reddit, first of all. People will go straight for your throat, even if you haven't done anything. But if you have done something, like, I don't know, share Sandy Hook conspiracy theories, they're doubly going to go for you.
Yes.
And so... Oh boy, this thing was a shambles. She posted like a couple of days in advance saying, hey, I'm going to be doing an AMA. If anyone who doesn't know, Reddit, this is like a forum, a web forum.
Yes.
An AMA, ask me anything. It's a Q&A. People can post questions and the person can answer. They can pick and choose whatever they want to pick and choose. Pick and choose.
But everyone can see what people are asking you about.
Yes, they certainly can. So Ronda posted, hi everyone, this is Ronda Rousey. I recently launched a Kickstarter for my first graphic novel called Expecting the Unexpected with indie comics publisher AWA Studios. I'm really excited for this opportunity to talk about my writing and comics writing future. That's what she wanted to talk about.
Maybe Fast and Furious as well. Could have asked her about that.
Maybe a few wrestling questions.
Yeah.
You know, maybe a few others. No. So basically, if you go onto this post, right, it's really hard to find because it's got 0% upvotes or 0 votes.
Yeah.
It's like no positive things whatsoever. It's got over 500 comments. It's now been locked, by the way.
Smart.
And on the first, 20 scrolls, all you can see is things like this. I'll just read you a few.
I saw a sneak peek on your Twitter of this.
Yeah, that tweet went crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's a few. Somebody said, in your graphic novel, Expecting the Unexpected, will we see something unexpected, like you apologizing or acknowledging the families of the victims of the Sandy Hook massacre, where 20 children were ruthlessly gunned down? Talk about expecting the unexpected. Can't wait to read the book. Someone else asked, much like wrestling, a lot of people now think UFC is staged. Seeing as you competed in both, can you shed some light on if they're staged? And while we're at it, can you comment on if the Sandy Hook shooting was staged? So, for those who don't know, it must be about 10, 11, it was like 2013 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Ronda Rousey shared some, I think it was a video or an article or something, she posted it on Twitter saying, this is interesting. It was Sandy Hook questioning conspiratorial nonsense. And when she was called out on it, she said something along the lines of, I think it's much better to question things or something like that.
Tell that to the parents.
Exactly. This was 10 whole ass years ago. She could have prevented all of this by just disavowing it and going, I shared some stupid BS. I'm really sorry.
Or in a perfect world, not sharing it in the first place.
Well, that would be ideal. But, if she wanted to not, have this follower around for 10 years, she should have just said, I'm really sorry, I did a stupid thing.
Yeah.
Instead, here we are. Once you get to the bottom of this page, the only questions I saw her answer, or her PR, whoever was doing it, actually answer were about Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that. Like, every single question that's not, about this stuff is downvoted to hell. It's hidden, it's buried at the bottom. You get such hard-hitting questions as, what is your go-to comfort food when traveling? Completely not. Look, this was just a boneheaded move from Ronda's PR team. She holds some really abhorrent personal views going by things. To the extent that, up until about, a year ago, I didn't really understand the extent of these things. So while I was certainly a big fan of her wrestling during her first run. She's got some really, really, really problematic and harmful views, it seems, and I don't know why anyone would have thought this was going to go well.
Yeah, I get that there's different ways of promoting things nowadays. You don't just go on talk shows or maybe send out the odd tweet saying, hey, I've got this Kickstarter going on. People do... Many people do AMAs, and also they can go terribly if you're one of the nicest people in the world. I'm sure if Simon Miller did an AMA, which would kick ass, by the way, people would still be like, why are you bald, dickhead?
Yeah.
There'd still be some.
Stop being positive, you prick.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like this. Yeah. And it's just, boneheaded is the perfect description, Andy. It's what were they thinking?
What was going on? And what was going on with her when she decided to share these things in the first place? But just not like. You can't go onto Reddit and go, we're only going to talk about my comic book. It's kind of poetic in a way. It's kind of poetic.
But she has also clarified why she never faced Becky Lynch one-on-one.
Poor Chris Van Vliet, by the way, did this interview on the same day this dropped. Gee whiz. Sorry, Chris.
I'm going to read you the quote. I've altered it slightly, Andy. I hope that's okay. Regarding why she never faced Becky Lynch one-on-one, obviously that was kind of the match we were all hoping for at WrestleMania 35 in the main event, which was awesome. Women main event in WrestleMania was great, of course. They sort of just shoved Charlotte Flair in there because Vince...
Flair?
Yeah, nothing really on Charlotte. It's not her fault. Vince just sort of went... put Charlotte in it, and then they had to overcomplicate things so much when it was just like, just have Becky win the Rumble and challenge Ronda. It was that simple.
Yeah.
And then it all fell to pieces, obviously, with the finish. But regardless, when she came back, you thought, okay, well, the match you need to do is the one that everyone's crying out for. Becky Lynch, Ronda Rousey, one-on-one. That never happened. Why? Well, according to Ronda Rousey, because Vince is an 80-year-old asshole. Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, Bruce Pritchard, they can all... I've just written perform a sexual act. I'll let you fill in the blanks there.
Yeah, this is that meme with the bald guy, isn't it? Like the worst person just made a good point or whatever. I mean, it would have been better as a singles match, I think.
Far better,
Like, it was obviously a historic main event. It's the first time the women's division had headlined. Finish was a bit dopey.
Why didn't she submit it? Ronda was going away.
Just like tap her out. It's fine. It's no problem. I think that American wrestling in general suffers from not keeping it simple. When like my most recent example is the Drew Punk bracelet, Seth referee, all of that stuff. Just keep it simple. Keep it pure. Keep it one-on-one. Hatred, two rivals, animosity. That's what gets me going.
Unless the Rock can be involved. That's the exception.
Well, he is the tribal chief, the final boss.
I love him so much.
And a very silly sausage. But keep it simple is often the best approach in wrestling. I think they should have taken. It wasn't a crap match or anything like that.
No.
But one-on-one, the purity of it was, to me, more interesting. Yeah.
But her statement here is kind of emblematic of the last days of Vince McMahon's version of WWE, where you'd think, oh, you've got something here. Like every now and again, there was like periods in sort of 2019, 2020, etc., where you were like, oh, Kofi Mania. Yeah. They've accidentally stumbled across this thing and not ruined it. Fair play. The Bayley and Sasha Banks build, you were like, me and Havlet were texting in the pandemic, I remember going, they've still not screwed this up yet. But often back then, they'd go, what's the worst option we can do here?
Yeah, let's go for that.
Let's sign Retribution to contracts.
Let's push and promote Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
They did some strange choices, I think.
But yes, like you say, Ronda Rousey making a very valid point here.
Yeah, her name was certainly in the search engines yesterday for various reasons.
Sorry, Chris Van Vliet.
Sorry, Chris. Man, what a day. What a day. Right, let's talk about the Wyatt 6.
Okay, good.
Little short, quick update here from Fightful Select in one of their big updates, noting just how the presentation, are they going to get spooky? Are they going to get supernatural? No, is the answer. As highlighted before their debut, there are not supernatural elements. I can't speak. There are not supernatural elements planned for the Wyatt 6. We're told this is still the case. So they've done some kind of edge of supernaturals, like the debut angle.
Spooky.
Yeah, with everyone kind of murdered in gorilla position.
That was a good point.
And all that, but they're not like conjuring lightning and
teleporting.
Yeah, transforming into ghouls or spooky things.
Yeah, that's a point. They are, say Huskus the Pig Boy, but they don't go like the weird AI images that are like, oh, what if this was a moving image? And I'm like, that makes me feel ill, to be perfectly honest.
They're not more.
They just take the masks off.
Exactly. So they creep people out through spooky tactics and stuff, but it's not full on. This cannot exist in this world, in this universe.
I'm really glad about this, because I was excited for the Wyatt 6 and obviously really hopeful for the likes of Bo Dallas and Eric Rowan, who just deserve nice things. But I was concerned at some point the bell's going to have to ring, and how's that going to work? Because that was often an issue with Bray Wyatt's various characters of how that translates from awesome promos to you've got to grab a headlock now. But
Ronda
I think
Rousey.
they've really done fantastic stuff with this. People are saying it's not ideal that American Made are getting fed to them straight away, which I do kind of agree with. The flip side of that is you've got 3 workers there, and Ivy now, I should mention her as well, who do make them look awesome. And the transformation you've seen from some people.
Dexter Lumis looks like a different guy. Yeah.
I know he looks physically like a different guy as well, but he felt very sort of not stiff as in hard hitting, just stiff as in it just wasn't working for him in the previous iteration of his character. Like you say, he looks incredible. He's in amazing shape, but he always was. He's in even better shape now. Mm-hmm. But now, he looks like he can really go, and I'm excited to see what they do next. And we're getting Uncle Howdy versus Chad Gable on Raw next week.
Yeah, they just need to be a little bit careful with who they're booking them against and stuff, because God rest his soul, Bray Wyatt, a horrible end to his story in real life. But quite often in his feuds, the person who he was feuding with would struggle to get their kind of momentum and their heat back afterwards. So
the only one I can think of is LA Knight, who was just sort of moved on from it.
He just says and the whole building goes nuts.
Okay, fine.
It's fine. So with American Made, I'm a bit wary because it's their first kind of proper feud.
Yeah.
It's and because they're kind of this dumb jock wrestling stable, which I really enjoy. I think they should maybe be doing something a bit purer. But at the same time, I'm really happy that they're able to do this for Bo. In particular, because that was his brother, and it's just an unspeakably horrendous thing for anyone to go through. I think that there's clearly a market for this kind of creative in WWE, right? There's clearly people who are into it. It will sell merch. People will buy the Uncle Howdy masks and whatever the heck else they're selling, because WWE is just a machine with this stuff. So, hey, look, I'm really happy that these people are just getting this opportunity to do something, because a lot of them haven't been on TV particularly consistently.
No.
And Eric Rowan also, he rules. So it's good to see him back. If I'm sitting and listing my favourite things in wrestling, for me personally, it's not quite to my taste, but I am genuinely very happy for the people involved.
And it's far more preferable than if it was supernatural.
Yeah, 100%. They're not goblins. They're not if it can exist within the realms of reality, it's cool.
They're eating her. Then they're going to eat me. Oh my God.
May have been gobbled up.
I actually would kind of allow for that sort of thing. Anyway, sometimes, supernatural things can make you sort of distort your reality, and maybe you can't hear things over all that music. Speaking of which, Mercedes Moné, we got there in the end. Sasha Banks, the former Sasha Banks, has revealed she almost returned to WWE. She posted this in her newsletter, talking about basically what convinced her to go to AEW instead. She said, the funny thing is that before last year's All-In, I attended an LA Rams game at the new SoFi Stadium in LA, and I kept thinking, this is where WrestleMania is going to be. It's an enormous, beautiful stadium in the Tinseltown, the City of Angels. How could Snoop's first cousin and a member of the Mandalorian cast not be here? Thus, at the end of the game, I leaned over to Kev and said, I need to be here for Mania, Kev being her representative, basically. I need to be here for Mania, she says. At that time, that's truly how I felt, what my plan was. That was, of course, before Tony invited us to see the show. Mind you, when she was at All In, there were no discussions of signing with AEW, zero. I wanted to go not out of curiosity or to kick the tires, but honestly because I love wrestling. She continues, it was halfway through the show that my mind changed when I knew AEW was the place to be. The fact they got 80,000 rabbits, 80,000 rabbits and 80,000 rabid and passionate fans to attend an event that wasn't Mania blew me away. It made me excited for wrestling in a way I had not felt in a long time, and by the end of the show, getting way ahead of ourselves, as my advocate Kev admits to doing so often, we were planning the very entrance you're going to see this year. So, you're welcome, American wrestling fans. The Brits convinced Mercedes to go to AEW.
Yeah, I wonder what part of the show it was that convinced her. She said, was it Chris Jericho going, hey, hey?
I think that was probably the moment she went, yeah, maybe I will do.
Yeah, I'm going back to the Fed. To hell with this. It was so weird seeing her on camera and stuff, because it was like, whoa, okay, she's signing? No, she's still really injured. Probably not yet. But obviously it ended up happening. Yeah, people forget that Mercedes is a huge wrestling nerd. Like, she loves this stuff.
Is, yeah.
Well, in her downtime in WWE, she'd go over to Japan and train with like Joshi wrestlers and stuff. And like, she's always been a huge pro wrestling freak. And I think that this speaks to that decision, right? Go somewhere else, try something different, wrestle different people, work with different people, pick a few things up, pass a few things on. It's how the sport's supposed to work. And, you know, rough early couple of months. I think they struggled to figure out how they were presenting Mercedes in the babyface role, but now she's more of a heel. I think it's been really effective.
Her versus Brit's one of the matches I'm most looking forward to on Sunday. Yeah. Really, really can't wait to see what that looks like. And now off this tease of what this entrance is going to look like. And you were showing me the Taylor Swift staging they've already got at Wembley, of course.
Yeah.
Excited to see what they do with that. Maybe Taylor Swift's going to do a run-in. Who knows? Probably not.
Well, no, she's joining the Judgment Day.
Probably not.
Yeah, she's going to wrestle Io Sky, brother.
But if you're heading to All In, make sure you come to our live show beforehand, whatculture.com/tickets, and head to Sweet Chin Disco afterwards for a big party. It's going to be a great day. Just can't wait for Sunday now. I can't believe it's this coming Sunday.
I know, man. What will I be doing on Sunday? Picking the dog up after the wedding.
Oh, yeah, you've got a wedding, haven't you?
Yeah, dog's at the kennels for the weekend, so, you know. Bring her home. Anyway, if you like this video, you'll like this video. Bye.
We'll be back with the after news later. Bye.
Bye.